Boz Millar from Boz Digital Labs here. I want to give you kind of an inside look at our next plugin. Now, this plugin is called the Hoser. The reason we called it that is because it's emulating the EQ section from a Canadian console manufacturer. So when we set out to make this plugin, we had a couple of pretty strong requirements. One, the most obvious, is that we wanted it to sound just like the analog hardware. And the way we did that, David Bendith, he picked out the unit that we would be modeling, and he sent it over to me to test and to run all these tests and signals and drunk so we can get it to sound just like the actual hardware. The second requirement we had was that we wanted people to be able to use this just like they would use an EQ on a console. And that means that you can stick it on every track and not be worried about butting up against your computer's CPU limits. We wanted to keep it very low CPU while keeping the sound true to the analog hardware. So let me kind of show you how we went about doing that. All right, so first off, let's talk about digital EQ. This is a digital, let me pull this up. All right, so Span here is going to show us exactly what we are doing here in our plugin. This is Re-EQ. It comes stock with Reaper. And as you can see, this EQ curve that it creates has a nice symmetric curve right here. Right, it goes up, goes down. And that's exactly what an analog EQ is doing. But the problem is with most digital EQs is that as you come up in higher in frequency, you actually kind of start to get this squishing effect, right? Instead of giving you a nice symmetric curve, you get this squished EQ curve that suddenly doesn't match up with what an analog EQ would do. And this is a common issue with a lot of plugins. So when we were making this plugin, we wanted to make sure that our plugin did not have this issue. We wanted to match, the curve of the analog unit that we were measuring. So there are a couple of ways of going about doing that. One way is to oversample. And let me pull up this. This is actually a different EQ that uses oversampling. So Hoser is bypassed. This one is called oversampled EQ. All right, so you can see this one, as you go up in frequency, it keeps its nice symmetric curve all the way up. So that is great. Now, this comes at a cost, however. If you look at, for one, the CPU usage, this particular plugin uses about 1% CPU to get that oversampled effect. The other downside to using oversampling is that you have this delay compensation that you need to take care of. And the problem with that is if you're using this on every track, it starts to bog down your DAW, and it becomes kind of a nuisance to use this on 50 tracks or whatever. So we didn't want to go that route. We wanted to get the nice analog curve, but we didn't want to deal with the oversampling and the issues that come with that. So we took a different approach, and so as you can see here, Hoser XT uses about 0.2% on this computer. And as you can see, it uses no sample, no delay. And as you go up in frequency, you can see it keeps its nice smooth curve. And this is something, this took us a while to get down, but we were extremely excited when we finally got it working. Getting that down gives kind of the best of both worlds. We get the benefits of having the light CPU and the benefits of having the analog curve. So we're really excited to get this into your hands. We hope that you love it. We hope that you use it on every track to give that kind of cohesive feel against your entire project. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We love hearing about them. That is all. Goodbye.